What's good, everybody? In my video today, we're going to be talking about how to find a percentage of a number, and I'm going to break this video down in two different methods. So the first thing we need to know, guys, is that we can rewrite 75% as a fraction, 75 over 100. And we're going to turn this into a multiplication problem, and we're going to multiply straight across. This is why you see me put 85 over 1. So once we do this now, we're going to get 6,375 over 100. And to calculate the final percentage or the final answer, we're just going to divide. So we'll get 63.75. Now, this can be challenging when we don't have a calculator. So if we don't have a calculator, what we can do is we can reduce this fraction to its lowest terms. Meaning, I could do 3 over 4 multiplied by 85 over 1. And now what's going to happen is I'm working with smaller numbers, so it's a little bit easier. So we should get 200 and, let's see, 24, 255 divided by 4. And once we simplify, we're going to get the same exact decimal. Now, in my second method, we could do things a little bit different. And this is what I mean. So we could take the top number divided by the bottom number, right? That's going to give us our decimal, or we could just move it over 2 places. So from here, we could just multiply by 85, and then we're going to get straight to our answer of 63.75. So we're moving on to problem 2 now, guys. And if you've liked this video so far, found it helpful, ask that you guys smash the like button for us. So in our second problem, we have 15% of 300. So we could do the same thing. We could take 15 over 100, and we can multiply it by 300 over 1. Just remember, guys, that even at this step 2, we could simplify our fractions and cross cancel. So once I divide, I'll divide by 100 and have 1 here, divide by 100, have 3, and what we're going to get is 45 over 1. We could just leave it as 45. So this would be the answer for 15% of 300. Now, if we go over to the decimal version, right, we move that decimal point 2 places to the left, we can do the same exact thing, and we're going to get the same exact answer of 45. But what I want to do before we go on to the last problem, right, let's talk about a different method. So we know we could talk about multiplying the fraction. We could use the decimal. But what we can also do is estimate using even numbers or percents of 10. So I know that 10% of any number is just moving the decimal place over 1. So if I found 10% of 300, this will give me 30. Then if I go back and say, okay, what about 5%? And when we think about 5% of 300, guys, we know 10% of 300 is 30. So 5% of 300 is going to have to be half of that, which is 15. And when we add these two together, we're still going to get the same answer of 45. So now let's practice this method with our third and final example. Moving on to problem number 3, guys. We hope you found this video helpful so far. In our last problem, we have 25% of 500. So once we go through and we do this the original way, right? We're using the fraction version. I'm going to simplify. So once I divide by 100, we're going to have 25 over 1 times 5 over 1. And once we do this, we're going to get 125. Now, if I went to the decimal version, or if I reduce this fraction, we would have 1/4 times 500 over 1. And once we do, we'll get our fraction of 500 over 4. And it's going to simplify to 125. Now, if we did the decimal version, 0.25, it's going to be the same exact thing, guys, but we do not have to divide. We go straight to the answer of 125. Now, last explanation of the day, when we're using percentages, guys, let's focus right here. We know 10% of 500 is 50. So 10% of 500 is 50. That means 20% of 500 is going to be 100, right? Now let's figure out how much is 5%. So 5% of 500, right, is going to be 25. And once we add these two percentages, 20 and 25, we're still going to get that final answer of 125. So we hope you found this video review helpful, guys. Two methods with a bonus one on how to find percentages of a number. We can either multiply by the fraction form, multiply by the decimal form, or we can estimate based on finding 10%, 5%, or even 20% of the number. Hope you guys found this video helpful.